Hello, Dental XP members. It's a privilege and an honor to do a presentation today at Dental XP. Thank you, Eddie and Maurice, for the invitation. As you know, I come from France. My name is Alain Simon-Pierry, and my topic is modern approach of full arch immediate loading. I would like to introduce my team. You can see here is Claude, my anesthesiologist, and my 4 assistants. You know that in immediate loading, the success rate of osseointegration is more than 95%. But, as you see, the implants are osseointegrated, but without aesthetic. And we can conclude by osseointegration doesn't mean aesthetic. What are the conditions for aesthetic results? We need soft tissue thickness, which depends on the bone volume. And however, the bone volume depends on the soft tissue thickness. Finally, we can say if you lose a bone, you can lose soft tissue, and if you lose soft tissue, you will lose a bone. What are the conditions for aesthetic result? In order to respect this condition, our protocol will respect biological, anatomical, surgical, and prosthetic requirements. But our final goal will be long-term stability. First, we need to achieve the adequate blood supply, and for that, we need to take care to obtain angiogenesis as soon as possible, because the amount of bone depends on the vessel's volume, and the vessel's volume is directly connected to the pressure of the tissue. What we know about to take care about diabetes, about cholesterol and vitamin D level as they deteriorate the bone metabolism. We do systematic apposition graft to optimize the buccal bone thickness with allograft, because allograft gives us collagen, which is first the main protein of the bone and is the one of the best stimulation of the new angiogenesis. We use PRF to enhance the vascularization in vivo, and finally, the last but not the least, the suture has to be low mobility. We use for that the apical matresse suture technique. About flap preparation, we start the surgery by this preparation in order to obtain a very low tension flap closure, and you can see how much tissue we have. It will be very easy to remove the tension. Now let's go to place the implant. Of course, in a prosthetic corridor. In edentulous patient or after extraction, you need to be palatally, but because we are in screw prosthesis, and it will be more palatal. But the question is, do the placement is too palatal? We are in screw prosthesis? The answer is no. Look at the screw ideally placed in the prosthetic corridor. The implant placement, how to choose the axis. Several authors use digital planification and guides. I prefer to follow the anatomy and especially the nasopalatal foramen. You can see the nasopalatal foramen here that I will use. When you use the nasopalatal support, it's, from my point of view, the best anatomical guide. The ideal implant placement has to be parallel to the canal, as you can see here. Another example where I place my implant by following this guide. The placement of the pin in the canal is completely atraumatic, and then I follow the pin to place my implant. And we can perfectly able to obtain this implant placement. If you are in the edentulous patient, the implants are placed in the same axis, or after extraction is exactly the same. We can obtain exactly the same implant placement with the same result. If you want to obtain aesthetic, we need to obtain symmetry of the collar. And you need to place the two incisors by symmetrical way with the same depth. The same for the canine and the same for the premolar. It's very easy to achieve simply the aesthetic. Another example, the protocol is the same, symmetry, symmetry, symmetry of the collars. It's easy to do the same at the mandible. Symmetry, symmetry, symmetry. I place the implant in a subcrestal position at 2 millimeters under the crest. I use, for that, I use platform switching connection in order to maintain the bone above the implant. Then there is no pressure on the cortical bone, with empty space around abutment and very easy bone formation. I wrote this article about subcrestal implant positioning. The title was Art and How to Increase the Volume of Peri-implant Tissue. Another example is to obtain the bone papilla between the implant. You can see here the interproximal bone height. I call this bone papilla. That will be easy to obtain soft tissue papilla. The protocol is the symmetry of the collar, the symmetric level of the placement, and finally, interproximal bone height. Interproximal bone height at the and bone papilla, also at the mandible, as you can see. About the implant diameters, which diameters of implant I recommend? Narrow implant. Why? Because we'll meet less vessel loss and more bone around implants. How many implants I need to place? Usually I place 8 to 10 implants at the maxilla, but my decision will depend on morphotype and occlusal function. The same at the mandible. Decision depends on the morphotype and occlusal function. About systematic apposition graft, I graft for 2 reasons. The first reason is biologic reason. There is a bone resorption after the flap. And the second will be for the aesthetic reason. Why? Because the buccal bone thickness must be maximum. Second Spray and Arroyo, you need to have 2 to 4 millimeters in buccal bone. It's a reason why I graft generously. Here an example of the graft, and you can see the implants are positioned in native bone. Show you in a native bone with very good primary stability, and the bone graft is maintaining the soft tissue thickness over time. another generous bone graft, and then the flap closure. You need to prepare your flap with incision in the periosteum. And secondly, the volume of your graft is adapted to the flap mobility if you want to obtain easy closure. I use systematically APRF. Why? Because I can box, I can protect the bone, I can maintain my graft. But, you know, I use this since 2000. I work with Joseph Choukroun, the inventor, since a lot of years. And you can see how I use this APRF. The suture, as I told you, the tension flap-free closure is easy to manage if you use this technique. It was proposed by my friend Joseph Choukroun. As you see, the penetration of the needle is at least at 1 centimeter from the margin. You are sure to avoid the tension and obtain full immobilization of the flap. I prefer to use resorbable monofilament because I do not remove them. They resorb after 3 or 4 weeks. In this case, you can see how the apical mattress removes the tension above the suture. After, I do the suture on the margin with, again, a resorbable and undyed monofilament. You can see here, try to show you. It's undyed, it's difficult to see, it's very aesthetic, but on this new case, it's not undyed, and you can see the 6-0 for that I call the Cortese suture. An example of aesthetic failure without management of tension. Patient came with aesthetic failure, and the question was how to recover this case and improve it. I decided, you can see high tension, to need a retreatment. First of all, I removed the tension, but my goal was to create more keratinized tissue. You know, 2 things, remove the tension and to create more keratinized tissue. And on this movie, you can see the collagen matrix exposed, and I cover it by a PRF membrane. I placed 8 PRF membrane. You can see during the movie, the first one, but it's not sufficient. After that, I need to do suture in this case, because this PRF will be exposed, you know. I place 8 PRF membrane, as you can see. And now I realize the suture to maintain this membrane in place, you know. Easy to suture the PRF because it's soft, you know, and very solid also. It's easy to manage. Here you can see after the suture and with a new provisional. But that is interesting is to control the new vestibule after 15 days and a soft tissue grow at 6 months after tension release. The framework, and at the beginning we have short vestibule, and at the end of the treatment we can see the deep vestibule. And I'm very proud of this result because I started with an aesthetic disaster, and the end is very beautiful, the end of the treatment. Here, after retreatment, the implants are ideally placed and by always the same thing, by symmetrical way. The prosthetic requirements, the prosthetic project, well, we start always with a prosthetic project. Why? For everybody, this prosthetic project is made by my technician. For me, it's one of the main keys of success. The results are easily predictable, and then we can go to the surgery. But if you don't respect this prosthetic project, I want to show you the cases of failure. They were not made with a preliminary prosthetic project, and you can see here reversed occlusion or misplacement of implants. The provisional restoration, the rule is to avoid any micro movement. Then the provisory must be rigid and screwed, second Ruschka. But why 4 to 7 days or 8 days? It's the time needed by my technician to prepare a perfect provisory. And I invite you to look at the position of the screw perfectly located in the prosthetic corridor. And it's clear that the design of the gum profile is made by the provisional restoration. And now the follow-up, that to show you follow-up at 4 days. So, sorry for the slide inverted. And here, different slide, early healing. The role played by the provisional restoration will be to model soft tissue and will guide the formation of papilla during the phase of maturation. Another case, always the same thing, you can note the symmetry of the collars. And another case, always at 7 days. Example, the bemaxillary rehabilitation, upper and lower, I did extraction. Now you know I realized buccal bone graft apposition. Provisory, get the quality of the provisory restoration. The provisory restoration in mouth after 4 days and a follow-up at 6 months. But you can see the soft tissue design by the temporary restoration and the final ceramics, that is at 6 months. Another case before final ceramic, but I want to show you what happens inside at 6 months. Different maxilla, as you can see, with a papilla, with the thickness of a soft tissue, with perfect implant placement. It's the same at the mandible. After 6 months, we can see the same result, beautiful keratinized tissue, beautiful thickness, and beautiful implant placement. But the question is, what about long-term stability? This case did in 2008, the other is the same, but 9 years later. The result is perfectly stable after 9 years, as you can see. We have stability over time, but not only. Obviously, there is a long-term improvement of a soft tissue. I prefer this result at this result, but it's 9 years later. Do the cleaning is easy. Yes, perfectly stability of the soft tissue and indeed the aesthetic. You can see another case, 2009, 2016. 8 years later, I did a focus on this prosthesis, and there is a perfect stability over time. But also, obviously, there is a long-term improvement. I prefer this to this, with a maturation of tissue. And are there any sealing problem? You can see 2009, 2016, 8 years later. I did a focus, and the conclusion is stability over time, but not only stability, because obviously there is a long-term improvement. One last case to show the long-term stability. Always the same thing. The beginning, we don't have enough tissue, we don't have enough bone, and you can see after 8 years, we have very good stability of this soft tissue. We saw that we need soft tissue, but do the bone stability is the same. Look at the bone above the implant stable after 7 years. Show you. We respected this famous spray theory and Arroyo. We need 2 to 4 millimeters. Another case, always the same result. We have a bone above the implants. Another case, 7 years later, always the same stability of the buccal bone. At the mandible, we can tell exactly the same. The bone in a high position, and we maintain this bone at this level. Another case, always the same thing. Now, the result, since 2002 in immediate loading, I've been placed more than I realized 1,100 full arch in immediate loaded with 8,000 implant placement, 500 mandible, 600 maxilla, and I lost 79 implants. But all implants were lost in the posterior maxillary region. But there is always a lesson from the failure. Almost the failure occurred before 2009. Between 2002 and 2008, failure rate was more than 2%. Almost the failed implants were placed in a posterior maxilla, but which change I have to do? I stopped to load immediately implant placed in simultaneously in the sinus. When I have not enough thickness, less than 4 millimeters, I avoid completely. I do more attention to the biologic condition of the patient, vitamin D and cholesterol. And the introduction of the apical mattress reduced dramatically the tension. And I use TECA implants since 2008, and I believe that I have more experience. But I would like to introduce my last improvement, the FastGuide, the PRF injectable, and the twin matrix. The FastGuide, designed by myself and Joseph Choukroun, using the concept of a nasopalatal foramen guide, is autoclavable. You can use in the maxilla and at mandible, is adaptable to all clinical situations, is a right atraumatic instrument to facilitate the axis decision. You can see here the placement of this guide to the anterior foramen, 1 second to place it. And you can see here also not the use of a compass that enable us to place the implants perfectly by symmetrical way. Would like to show you the canine insertion, always by following this guide. Always by following this guide. Don't remove the guide during your insertion. the insertion of your canine or of your implant, naturally. Here, the two central incisor insertion, always by following this guide. And the result. You can see the perfect symmetry of the implant placement, the same level of depth, and here the buccal bone graft with the biomaterial clotted by high PRF, the compaction. I obtain hard bone, and you can see the final shape of the bone. And it's clear that the FAST guide, this famous anatomical guide, it has simplified and shortened my surgery. Now the second thing, the use of high PRF injectable is no additive and no anticoagulant, rich in mesenchymal stem cells, and with high concentration of leukocytes. The removal of the liquid high PRF at the top of the tube. Illustration by a clinical case. After extraction, I'm filling the gap, and after that, I realize my apposition graft, injection of high PRF, compression. You will see compression. And you don't have any adhesion of a granule on the gauze. Look at that. And we obtain hard bone. I control always with my finger. At the mandible, different preparation of a compact biomaterial. The granules are clotted before grafting. And after that, you can place a sticky bone. Easy to manage also. Is very comfortable for a surgeon that I am, you know. Very comfortable because you don't have any granules in the mouth, you know. Easy. You can manage absolutely perfectly. I always control with my finger the hard bone, and you can move your flap. Nothing can be arrived. And I place, finally, the PRF membrane. Another one. Recapitulation, biomaterial installed and coated and high PRF for the upper jaw, and on the lower jaw you saw the sticky bone already clotted by high PRF and recover with high PRF. And I would like to show you the result, the soft tissue result, the thickness of the soft tissue and the health of soft tissue at the maxilla and at mandible. But don't forget the beginning, not the lack of buccal bone, and also the bone stability after 2 years. And you can see here, you have the bone above the implants. Finally, the twin matrix is not a barrier. We use it for soft tissue thickening. The day of the surgery and after 24 hours. And I would like to show you, and thank you, Jos Perret, for the realization of this fantastic prosthesis, provisional prosthesis. This patient was loaded at 24 hours. X-ray control. And finally, can we get more soft tissue? This case, it was really disaster, as you can see. He lost a lot of bone. I place my implant. IPRF clotted, you can see, recovered by twin matrix. It was at the upper jaw. I have a bug of my computer. On the lower jaw, you can see, sorry, it's not me, it's my computer. Lower jaw, and now maxilla provisory. The screws are perfectly located in prosthetic corridor, and mandible provisory also. Loading at 4 days. You can see apical mattress, upper jaw and lower jaw. And question was at the beginning, is it possible to obtain papilla at the mandible? The answer is yes, sure we can obtain if you follow this protocol and the definitive restoration. As you can see, we have papilla at the maxilla, beautiful soft tissue, and exactly the same at mandible. And finally, my immediate loading protocol. Here, the elasticity of the flap. I fix the flap at the anterior level and also at the canine level to obtain a better field during my surgery. I suture also the flap, the palatal flap. I place my pin immediately, my guide. I introduce in the guide, you will see, I introduce my compass and I can begin my surgery easily. I place my tooth central incisor by following this guide. Cut my finger to avoid to go on buccal way. Avoid to go on buccal way. That will be always a disaster. Aesthetic disaster, always. We need to be in palatal. Distance between each implant, if you want to obtain the papilla, is 7 millimeters. If you have more, you don't have any papilla, and if you have less, you will see at the end of the surgery, I control always the implant placement. Cut my finger, always guide to avoid to go in buccal. impression, cervical view and occlusal view, get the location of the screw, and here the prosthesis in mouth, buccal view and lingual view. Implant positioning. In conclusion, the long-term aesthetic result, if you want to obtain long-term aesthetic result, you need to achieve bone and soft tissue both during surgery. For that, you need to take care of the surgery, you need to take care of the implant placement, you need to take care of your implant material, you need to take care of your suture, and also you need to follow the biology. But I can tell you that the FastGuide IPRF and Twin Matrix gave me an amazing improvement. I would like to thank you for your attention, and I hope to see you in one of our next live surgery course. Thank you.